Hello and welcome to UK Versus. We are joined by back-to-back regional winner Mike Hardiman, who has taken down Chelmsford Regionals, the most recent regionals at this point, and took it down with Ymir. How are you doing, my friend?
Surviving, that's the best I can give right now, As I just mentioned, post-Worlds, plague is still a real thing for me. So, surviving is the best I can give.
Recovering from partying too hard after getting yet another win under your belt.
No. I'd say it's all still Worlds. I can't party these days because America gave me the plague.
So, talk me through the event. I know we were talking up until the event that you were struggling to kind of decide on a character. So, what made you land on Ymir, and who else were you considering?
So it's a pretty long story, to be honest with you. Pre-April ban list, I had my deck. I was happy. It was going to be Evil, Elder Toguro, based off what Jacob Johnson played at Worlds, using Plowthrower enemies to just one-shot people. It was very successful for me so far. A lot of fun. And I just love the character, so I really wanted to play Elder, because every opportunity I've had to play Elder in an event, there's been one reason or another that I've chosen not to. And I thought this was finally going to be the time. But then Immortal Shapeshift got banned, and Combined Firepower got errata to be King Ghidorah only, effectively. And that killed the deck dead in the water. So from there, I was still on my Elder Toguro sort of like hype train of, he probably still works without those cards. But I tried shifting to sort of like the life symbol or the death symbol. And then I tried to play more of a 4-check tribal build after chatting with Kevin Broberg for a little bit, because I really didn't know what to play, and he's usually got something spicy that I can steal. This time he didn't. But yeah, so I was playing that. It was not very successful into like the Deviljins of the world, which I knew was going to be one of, if not the most represented deck. And then I tried it out of Hanji. As you're well aware, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Hanji. I love Hanji, they don't love me. The World's record, believe it or not, I was playing them at Worlds, and yeah, we don't really talk about how that went when people ask. We just say, yep, I was there.
Sometimes the deck just says no.
Yeah, so and that was the same with Hanji. I think I just don't mesh well with the character as much as I like them. So I was trying to find what to play, and I basically settled on, I'm going to play Deviljin or I'm going to play Nick. I didn't really want to play either of them. And what I did find doing all of the Elder Toguro sort of playing about off of like Death and Life was I really liked the defensive applications of Replicator Enthusiast. Being able to do very cheeky plays with like Button Collector to draw more cards, or multiple Keiko's aids when they think they're only going to get hit by one, so they go a little deeper into a string, and little things like that. So it all came down to like the Replicator Enthusiast, and I really like this, but the deck's not meshing with me. So how do I have something that can keep up with the aggression that a Deviljin or a Nick will put out at me? And I thought I'll try Ymir. It plays a lot of the same sort of cards as the Elder, but I can actually like hit people. So I tried it the Wednesday before the event, and I lost every match I played with it, but it felt like it had potential. And that night, I'd basically just been jamming games into Liam Chorner, the entire night where he was playing Deviljin. I was just playing everything into that. And he recommended, have I thought about playing Lethal Slash in the deck? And I hadn't, because meeting Hanji's a 3 difficulty. I don't want to be checking a 2, going first, trying to play it, check a 2, and skip my first turn. So I was a little bit afraid of that, but I thought, Friday night, just before the event, I'm going to play Nick. I had 3 reasons that I didn't want to play Nick. I didn't want to shuffle a deck that big all weekend. I didn't want to put it on UGN because it's hard enough to put decks on UGN as it is. And I didn't have a deck box big enough with me to contain the deck. So I made these slight changes to Ymir, tried the deck out, had so much more fun with it, and went, yep, I'm playing this. I don't care. This is the deck that I'm going to play. Thankfully, Liam is the one who convinced me to play it. He's the one who I tested into the most, like, in general, tested into. And then on the Friday night when we were at the Airbnb, he was, willing to stay up a little bit and jam games with me so I could figure out what I would play. And then we made the last minute changes, submitted the lists, and went to bed.
Yeah, and it worked. And little did Liam know he was ultimately creating his defeat.
Well, the best part is that he actually lent me, because I couldn't find all of my incredible displays. He lent me 2 incredible displays for the deck, and I lent him a team in with the Attack Titan for his deck. So we were kind of helping each other out there get to where we got to.
That makes a lot of sense. I know Ymir was on that. I think when we were talking, it was like I mentioned Ymir was probably still strong, and I was like, oh, but you mentioned you'd not had fun with it at the actual Wednesday, but it worked out for you at the weekend. So Devil Jin was the matchup you were most kind of worried about and anticipating. Is there anything in particular put in the deck to handle Devil Jin?
It's not necessarily specific stuff that I put in to handle Devil Jin. It's just the cards that life has access to that lets you stave it off, while Ymir has the sort of like aggressive backswing to be able to come back at him and challenge the 35 in a very fast turnaround. But as I say, the Replica Infuses Keiko's Aids felt amazing to be able to do multiple times. Being able to meet in Hanji multiple times to just get through your deck really quickly to find that aggression. And also in the sideboard, incredible display to cancel Goblin Bolts. Vast strength to remove the card pull response on any camouflage counters that attack into you aggressively. Just a lot of little things that would help do that. There's also the momentum enhance on Dual Needle Lunge that makes them mill off any camouflage they stack after you hit them. So there's lots of little interactions that really pushed it to where I wanted it to be.
Makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about Swiss. It was a 6-round Swiss, which kind of caught me off guard. I was only expecting 5 rounds. And then...
well, we were only a few plays off of the 7th round.
Damn. Yeah, I saw it was, especially for being down south, there was quite a few players that didn't show up, myself included, even though it was right in my back door. That's a story for another time. How was Swiss, and are there any matches or matchups that you remember fondly or have bad memories of?
Not particularly bad memories. I don't think any of my matchups were particularly bad. Round 1, I played against the Devil Jin. It was one of the Welsh players, Christian.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the first time I'd had a chance to sort of like chat with him, so that was fun. Thankfully, I was able to take that. I was like, "Oh god, Devil Jin round 1. This is going to be how the day goes." Just like the younger Toguro meta, I'm going to be stuck against all the Devil Jins all day.
Yeah, it seems to be a habit that you have at events of going against the meta character all the way through Swiss, from younger Toguro to Godzilla to Mimic.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a worry, but then he didn't really see game 1. I don't think he had much experience against Ymir, so I was able to kill him quite quickly. And then game 2, he didn't see much in the way of Goblin Bolts to slow me down, so I was able to just plow for a 35 relatively easily. Round 2, I played against a Byakko. This is probably my favourite match of the weekend for what happened in game 2. So game 1, pretty uneventful. Ymir does Ymir things. I win the game. Game 2, I draw my hand up. I've gone second. I've got 7 foundations. I draw my hand up, and between my discard pile, stage, and hand, I can see all 4 copies of me in Hanji, and I have some replicators in my hand. But the only attack I have is Fallen Heel Strike.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I can theoretically meet in Hanji a lot on this turn.
Yeah.
And I can transform on turn 2 because I've got the replicator. I've got Ymir form. I'm getting to 9 foundations, no problem. I enhance with meet in Hanji 5 times on that turn.
Jeez.
And I don't see any extra. I see 1 more attack.
Oh,
So then Byakko turns around and does my entire life total on one double overhead hammer fist.
Yeah.
As Byakko does. And then game 3 was more of game 1. I've gone first. He dies. I played Jonathan Yeats round 3 this time.
Oh, you did not have you had a hell of a run in Swiss, going from Devil Jin to Byakko to the chronic number 2 player of Europe.
I generally thought Rodan was going to be a pretty bad matchup because he's able to reduce a lot of speed, draw some cards, and just keep me slowed down enough to the point where you kind of guess out, and then he's able to just, kill eventually. That almost happened game 1, but I was able, between Masho's Concealment, Incredible Display, Arrogant Fighter, things like that, I was able to have just enough stage control to outpace him, kill him, and then game 2, he goes first, I build 7, including a Desperate Prilly. He attacks, I block, respond desperately. So I'm on a forming me a kill him on turn 2.
Damn, yeah.
I mean, he did check pretty poorly on his turn because he played a couple of attacks, played some foundations, and checked a lot of frees. But yeah, he just fell over during that second game.
Sometimes the deck just wants to kill.
Then it was lunch. So I had a nice subway, a little break, and then I have to play. This was the time I was on stream for the day against Gary Surridge on Toru 2.
Yes.
And well, you can see on stream how that match ends up going. I'm pretty unimpeded against Toru, and I'm able to do my game plan how I want to do it, and it goes the way you would expect an Ymir to go.
Yeah, I mean, with Steve Claxo as your friend, canonically on every event, you know how to play against Toru 2. It's been ingrained into you being Steven's friend.
Well, he's my friend. I've never said I'm actually his friend. Let's just remember that one. His team name is that he's my friend.
Fair enough. But yeah,
love you, Steve.
He's a huge Toru 2 fan in himself, and yeah, he's been playing it for years. So most players who played regularly against Steven have a good handle on Toru 2.
Yeah, I mean, I did play Toru 2 for the first HLC as well. So
that's true.
So I have a little bit, of an understanding of playing against Toru 2. But because she's very much all in on I'm going to make my attacks hit, but they're not super hard. That's exactly what Ymir wants.
Yeah.
Oh yes, please hit my life total down so that I can gain it all back and use that to kill you with on my turn. Round 5, I get paired against Ben Motin on Devil Jin. There was only 3 of us on 4-0 at that point.
Yeah.
And I got paired into Ben, who was,
I think he was 3-0-1.
He was 3-0-1, so he was undefeated, but he had a draw. And he thought he'd be able to. We were gonna play it out. We got to the point where we were setting up to play it out, but then we both thought that like if he didn't want to like risk my record,
yeah,
or him losing, so he wanted to bank on the last round rather than affecting mine if like he beat me and then I went down to the X1 and then I could go X2 and not make the cut, things like that. So we eventually decided to draw, and it was a terrible mistake because after we submitted it, we realised that the best he can do is effectively 4-2. So it comes down to how other players actually do then. So we would have been better just to play it out. And then round 6, I get paired into Liam. We're both XO1 because he drew with Nathan in the previous round, and yeah, we just
there's no.
We played the games enough. We know how it goes.
Yeah.
So we just draw. We're both comfortable. I end up second. He ends up third.
Yeah, with Declan taking first.
Declan taking first because he played his round out against Ben.
I think he had to because Ben couldn't.
So then he overtook me there, and me and Liam did actually play it out, and he absolutely destroyed me. 2-0. Wasn't even close. It was like 5 minutes. We played 2 games, and I went, yeah, let's just chill. Let's not mess about.
No, and then I've been paired into Ben enough to know that he kind of does the maths beforehand, and he doesn't want to put friends in a position where they don't top, or put himself in a position where he doesn't top through his friends. So he does offer IDs quite a lot, and when the maths makes sense, it's perfectly viable. But it does sound like you ran into a lot of people you knew, you had a lot of fun, you got to play quite a lot of games, and it sounds like Liam, when he saw you were going to be in the finals after that round 6, was like, I got this.
Yeah, he probably did. He probably should have as well. But then we break for the day. We see I'm watching as the parent, like the results coin for the end of round 6, and I'm initially quite confident because I see that I'm playing against Matt Bird, who was on Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, Mitchell will be a pretty decent matchup for Ymir, because I'll be going first, and Mitchell won't really get an opportunity to set up before I'm ready to go in and kill him.
It's that Rodan situation of his initial attacks.
And then the parents got final, and then like the parents got finalized, and it turns out, oh no, that jump schedule slightly changed. It's flipped around, and now I'm playing against Richard on Nick Reagan.
Yeah. We all remember what happened last time you went against Richard Plummer in the top 8 of an event, who was playing an RNG heavy kill you turn 2 deck.
Yeah. We do. We don't need to talk about how he absolutely decimated me. No. But on the bright side, with me being second and being 7th, I was like, well, I think this is gonna go the way I expect it, where I kill him, it's not a game. He kills me, it's not a game, and then I hopefully kill him again. What actually happened was I kill him game 1, it's not a game. He kills me game 2, it's not a game. And then game 3 is a real game. Quite a chunk of back and forth. And it actually comes down to a point where he has to check a 6 to survive. And he's got an ignite in play committed. He doesn't enhance with the ignite, goes to block, checks a 5, fails and dies. Whereas if it ignited, he would have passed the block. Now, I did have another attack in my hand, but I checked what I would have checked, and it would have failed. So he would have got a turn against me. But there's no guarantee that he would have killed me, because it was Nick. It was going to be 5 blind cards. You could just draw foundations, and I did have like Keiko's up and my character and cards to block with. So there's a world where he doesn't quite get there, but
yeah,
odds are I would have died on the following turn if he'd enhanced with the ignite. But I asked him afterwards, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew the ignite was there, but I got so tunneled in on if I just check a 6, I survive." That he just blanked his mind a little bit, and
there's a lot of, it's a high stress top 8 situation. Your mental load's through the roof. You can know it's there, but you kind of, as Richard said, get locked in on, I just need to check the 6 and not think, well, how can I improve my odds of checking a 6?
Yeah, and then I checked the bracket, because I'd not actually checked the bracket at that point, and I realized that I was going to be playing against either Nathan James on Reiner or Luke Quincy on Rodan. Two of my locals, 2 people I know very well, 2 very good players. Yes, that's the one time I'm going to admit that, Nathan.
You should watch this, you're fine.
Yeah, that's true. Someone might clip it though. And I was like, if I play against Nathan, yes, I'm going first, but it's Reiner into Ymir, and I feel like Reiner is slightly favored due to the fact that he can just keep me off 9 foundations and he can transform when he wants to, but I can't transform when I want to.
That's really interesting because when I was talking to Nathan during Swiss on Discord, he was basically saying if he gets paired as you, he needs to force the ID because was worried about that matchup and just says that you can it's a bad matchup. You're favored in that matchup in his opinion.
I like that we both have like the opposite opinion of it. But yeah, so that's what I was very worried about. And he was like very like the deck he played was very focused in on board destruction, very focused in on abusing the Nick Devil Jin meta of 5-handers, and them not having too many foundations. So thankfully, with me going first, I was able to. I took game 1 eventually. Took a little while. And game 2, I was incredibly confident in game 2 because I drew. There was a turn when I transformed and I drew 7 attacks.
Ooh.
With multiple of them being lethal slash, and there was like dual needle lunges and Tetra and stuff, and he had Jaw Titan in play and Smiling Titan. So I had to deal with those. So it was dual needle into the Smiling. It's dealt with, cool, whatever. Dual needle goes to momentum. And then I lethal slash into the Jaw Titan. And Nathan makes a fantastic play of enhance with Reiner to drop the attack down to 1. So I then have to waste another attack into the Jaw Titan before I can start ramping damage with Ymir.
Yeah, and usually after like 3 attacks, you're running out of gas. But with a 7 attack hand, you're like, yeah, okay, I'll keep going.
Well, the downside of playing backups into a character like Ymir, I then proceeded to just play a Tetra Terror. Lose 3, pick up another lethal slash. Your Jaw Titan's dealt with. Now I can start gaining health and kill you. And he survived that turn on 2.
Ooh, well, at least it wasn't 1. You didn't invoke the curse.
And I was on 5, so I was like, oh well, we're going to game 3. Nathan draws his hand, and he's drawn 5 attacks and a Ravagers of War. And he's like, he doesn't want to play the Ravagers because I've got 3 cards in my hand. I've probably got a high block. No, I had a mid, but I could have. He can make it 10. I could gain the health. I would have survived at 1, and then I would have killed him on the following turn anyway, like I did. But yeah, that game was very close. If he'd drawn any more gas, we would have gone to game 3, and anything could have happened. But over the course of my turn, I must have played like the turn when I fought. I definitely let him dead. I played like 9 or 10 attacks, and he'd survived it. It was very, very frustrating, but very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen with Greg Moss that Reiner can be very competitive, and I know Nathan had a hell of a run for Swiss, getting double and triple chomps very early against people.
Yeah, I think the big well, going even further back, we saw Dave Hancock do well in Regional 3 last year, where Reiner had been 1 win away from making top 8.
Yeah, I played against something that was ridiculous.
And yeah, Reiner is just one of those characters that he's still strong, but people just shy away from him because he has the errata to make him fair.
Yeah. It's similar to Bert too, like they're still playable. It's just as soon as you go, oh, this character's errata, people kind of just turn off them.
Yeah. So it's good to see people are going back and revisiting some of these characters that were very strong and have now been errated. Like I even looked at Mikasa for regionals, trying to play a very similar game to what Pony was playing around Worlds, like lethal slashes to clear card pools and stuff. And then obviously the finals were streamed, so we know exactly how that went. Me and Liam proceeded to sit there for 15 minutes before we could play because they were doing previews. So we sat there rolling dice for a while to see who would be the first person to roll 2 pigs on my pig dice.
Oh.
Spoiler, it was me.
It looked like you were having a great time throughout the game because, like I said, Liam's a great friend. You had a lot of good friends in the top 8 as is, but you've been in the finals with Liam before, and even when you're not having the best game, you're still having a fun time.
Oh yeah, so Liam is one of my favorite people to play. We are always having fun when we're playing against each other. Even when it's like a very serious game, we're still laughing and joking and taking the mick out of each other and everything. We're not like super like quiet or like, oh, gotta do it all like silent like some players would be in other games. It's very much a lot of fun. And we're constantly cracking jokes and making each other laugh and saying stupid stuff to each other the entire time.
What was your mindset in the finals when you were doing your first turn build and then you just go on that third foundation, you go, that's a 2. Oh, well, I'm done.
It was, well, I turned to Liam and I went, well, Liam, good game. I can't even be mad.
Liam playing the long game going, put lethal slash in your deck, it'll be fine. Gets to the finals,
yep.
Yes.
Yep. I think Liam secretly knew that it would cost me multiple times.
You put 2s in my decks in Sheffield. I put 2s in your decks now.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. So good playing against him. I know game 3. I keep winding Kai up about this. He was doing a bit of shadow judging with Murray for the finals. So Kai was sat next to me during the game. And I was about to transform, and I'm like, let's just make sure I've got enough foundations in play. And I start counting them one by one. 1, 2, get up to 8. And I turn to Kai, and I go, Kai, what comes after 8? And he turns to me, stone-faced, all serious, 10. And we all burst out laughing.
I was wondering who you were like talking to off the side for a few of the like turns of the game. I was like, actually, it was like, Kai was shouting. They're just messing with Kai.
So if it was to the left, it was Kai. If it was to the right, it was Murray.
Fair enough. So you were just surrounded by friends having a great time.
Yeah. Especially that the turn 1. Game 2, we were like, Murray had stepped away to help out with something, so we're just playing our first turn, and I'm like, Liam, there's no way it could go as badly as last time, right? And he's like, nope. So I go, here's my foundation on a 2, passes. Here's my foundation on a 2. Check a lethal slash, and I immediately reveal the Ymir strong hand going, look, if I played this, I would have checked the 2 and failed, and it would have been all like game 1 again. But see, I played around it. Yes, let's go. Play a foundation on a 3, it passes. Play the Ymir on a 5, make my check, see that it's grey, go, yes, it's passed. Oh no, it's a 4. And then we both just burst out laughing. And at this point, Murray's coming back, like I've built a foundation, Murray's coming back going, what did I miss? You guys are cracking up way too much. So then I went back and played the turn again to show him. And he also died from that.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like just a cool thing. So are you going to be taking part in other regionals, or are you going to be like stepping into the judge role again? Because you've got enough points for the day 2 invite now at this part, right?
Yep. I got, I think it was 217 points I've got now.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah. I think Liam hit 160 as well from the event.
That's awesome.
I think I'm probably going to be playing, just because I want the prize in more than anything else, I think. And I don't want to do the same thing as I did heading up to this past Worlds, where I basically took my foot off the gas and didn't really play the game for months on like a competitive scale. So after I won the October regional, I was like, okay, I'm judging Nats, so I don't need to worry about the format. And then by the time Worlds came around, I was completely unprepared, no clue what I wanted to play. Built something you were there. Built something last minute, submitted it, and just didn't have a good time playing the game. everything around the game, great, but like actually playing the game didn't really enjoy it the way that I normally would. So I don't want to do that for an even longer period of time, especially when my most hyped IP is going to be coming out in August.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were both in that boat in February. It was a case of we just didn't have fun in Swiss, but like getting to see everyone at Florida was the highlight of the event.
Yeah, very very much so. So like I know I'm looking at potentially getting a few of the guys to road trip to Alicante and see a bit of Europe while we're doing it. But we'll see if that's feasible in terms of funds and stuff. Because I don't think flying is particularly feasible for most of us in terms of the cost. Since it's in the summer holidays again.
Flying's not too bad if you go out of London. I think you can get it for about 200 return if you're not looking for the most amount of legroom.
Yeah, but then the cost for like us getting to London is about the same as it would be to fly from elsewhere.
That's fair.
So
before we move on to your all-time favorite hyped IP that you're going to be bugging me for information from the moment I land in Albuquerque to the moment the set drops.
I would never.
Is there anything in Attack on Titan Apocalypse that's got you hyped? We've just literally had the chromes drop like 5 minutes before recording. There's
a few things I'm looking forward to. I like arming. Anything that lets me cheat deck building wise, I'm always going to be intrigued by. Any of the characters that have the words backup on them is something I'm going to be playing. So I'll be experimenting with Flock and Zeke a fair bit. Peak, just generically good. So I'll be playing a bunch of her. Trying to remember the rest of them.
Are you going to be trying to take an extra turn with one of the secret rares?
It's too restrictive.
That makes sense. And then we've got Street Fighter coming up. TMNT. Who you hyped for in TMNT? Who's your go-to main that you're going to be pumping all the way until Worlds?
Mikey.
Solid choice.
I mean, he almost shares a name with me. So, Mikey.
You going to be turning up to events in a orange bandana?
If I can get an orange bandana, maybe.
Could easily get an orange bandana. And last thing I'm gonna just to ask about is how are you enjoying PvE? I know you've just done a cube PvE at your Sheffield locals. Is it something you'd like UVS to do more of? Is it something you'd like to see sort of turn up in TMNT, Guilty Gear, and other sets moving forward?
That's the first PvE we've done with Critical Role. Related, to be honest. We did the Briarwoods when that originally dropped, but then we didn't really do anything with it for a while. I think because we're more of a competitive focus locals, we like to just jam games, and PvE doesn't really fit that. But now that we're getting a couple more casually oriented minded players, I think we might be able to do stuff like that a little bit more, which I quite like the idea of, because it's fun to just chill. We had a laugh trying to, for some of us, reading all these legacy cards for the first time ever. Like, what do these do? Oh, absolutely nothing. Cool. Well, I'll hit him for 2.
Kev, that can be a pain, especially if you completely ignore the horde.
Yeah. We played on hard mode and ignore the horde.
It's a rough one to go down. But yeah, thanks for chatting with me for basically an hour at this point. I'm sure I'll edit it down in post. Looking forward to eventually getting to see you at some point this year, hopefully.
You already seen me this year, twice.
Oh yeah, so that's a competitive year.
You already seen me? Okay, all right. Yeah.
And I'll let you get off to bed because I know you got a hard day at work tomorrow and you need to recover from Plague day 65.
Yeah, and day 65, they say that's the worst of them.
No, I think that's in like 5 days.
You can't be making those kind of jokes on YouTube.
I can absolutely say that on day 65 the virus is going to fuck you from both sides.
You should not say that though.
I shouldn't, but I did.
Well, let's hope you edit that out then.
Nah, I'm gonna make it louder. Well, last literal thing I'll ask you to do is: have you got any shout outs, any one you want to mention? Of course, you're probably going to give Sean the biggest of shout outs, but anyone else?
I guess I can shout out some people. Shout out to Sean for always being like the best TO in the entire world for this game. Always making sure that people get the money's worth and throwing prize wall tickets galore at us to make the unfortunately lackluster entry prizing feel a little less lackluster. Shout out to Levi for coming over. It was awesome this is actually the first time I've got to chat with Levi. So it was nice to actually spend some time with him. We went for a cheeky Nando's with some of the others. So it was nice to just chill and chat stories with him. Shout outs to Becca for coming out from Patriot Games with Sean as well to help run the stall. She's the one who tends to run most of our events locally, so it's always good. Like when she's running an event, I know it's going to be well run. Shout outs to Ben for making it nice and easy for me to get there. We drove down all the way, just the two of us, and it was the fastest drive ever because the time just flew by. We were just chatting and talking a load of crap the entire time. Shout outs to Greg for giving me meds when I had a really bad headache that still hasn't gone yet. Shout outs to Scots for always being there. Shout outs to Kai for not knowing how to count to 10. Shout outs to Car Goblin for taking my winnings. Who else am I missing? Shout outs to Nathan for being a good butler. Shout outs to Stephen for being my friend. Shout outs to all my opponents for not being dicks. Shout outs to Brett for not being there.
I purposely didn't go so Kai could top and he let me down.
And he let you down, yeah. So, Bubble Boy still bubbled. What can we say?
For anyone who is interested in doing events by the best TO in the EU, arguably the world, from what Mike said, that we have the 2-year anniversary of Patriot webcam events. We have the 2-year anniversary of webcam events from Patriot coming up. So on Tuesdays, you can take part in webcam events run by Patriot, and all throughout May, if you take part, you will get an additional regionals promo that they have. And if you take part in all the events in May, you'll get more regional promos in your prizing. Because apparently Sean just wants to give away value. It kind of sums up Sean there, just doing the best for the community and making sure that everyone gets access to these promos and running events, even if it is at a detriment to his own sleep pattern.
He has children. He has no sleep pattern.
I feel that. But I'll let you get off, my friend, and hopefully I'm not going to see you in Spain. I might see you in Glasgow, or if I can convince Robin to go see the in-laws at a time that actually coincides with events, I might see you there. And once again, congratulations on the win, and best of luck in Worlds.
Wait. Shout outs to, I don't know. I just want to keep saying more shout outs. Yeah, I guess you can just cut me off, but don't. Shout outs to, I don't know.
Shall I go make a brew where you just randomly say names as you go along with it?
Shout outs to the kettle, yeah.
Shout outs to Star Wars Acolyte, cancelled too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that.
The best place to end it.